Hello Binge family, how you doing? My name is Benny, and I'll be the new co-host on this channel. I love movies, and I hope you all will accept me, the way Elias and his team has. But without further ado, let's beat today's movie, The OctoGames. What if you get stuck in a deadly children's game with a bunch of strangers, and you don't know what might come next, but the reward is beyond your imagination? What would you do? This is about a movie, The OctoGames, in which 8 strangers sign up for a contest, unaware of the dangerous consequences of their participation. Let's explore this film together and learn about the various life-saving techniques that might help you if you ever get stuck in this situation. It all starts with a famous, wealthy YouTuber, JaxPro, creating a game named The OctoGames after getting inspired by the anatomy of an octopus. According to the research, octopuses have mini brains in each of their 8 legs, which allows them to act independently of one another. This revelation gives JaxPro the idea of inventing the OctoGames, in which there will be 8 players, but only 1 winner. Each player will act independently, but are all a part of the same game. The concept's dope, but I'm not getting a good vibe here. Anyways, 14 content creators are invited to join the game due to their promising social media presence. Everybody seems quite excited except Steven Randall, aka Squish, a motivational speaker, who is confident he'll win the prize. They've yet to learn what the award is, but their favorite YouTuber JaxPro is running, so they believe it will be huge. What's the first strange thing about the whole game thing is that the influencers are called to play the game in JaxPro's studio, a deserted place away from the city's busy crowds. Some contestants are here to get more followers, while some are here to promote their businesses. Just play a couple of games and get what you want. Seems easy, right? But these influencers don't know what's coming next for them. The contestants' phones are taken, after which JaxPro explains the game. If I were one of these influencers, I would ask why you need my phone, but these contestants have so much faith in their idol they didn't ask once. While talking about the game, JaxPro explains how the game works. Only 8 contestants will move forward in the first of 8 games, while the others will be eliminated. Once the games are finished, the footage of the entire competition will be uploaded to JaxPro's YouTube channel. When Maxine, a comedian, inquires about the prize, JaxPro reveals how he will be retiring soon and giving the winner all of his social media accounts, sponsorships, and 115 million followers. What else do you want as a content creator? Like any influencer, the contestants get excited about the prize, unaware of what they may lose in exchange. So the first game, Simon Says, is introduced. All players must obey any command, beginning with Simon Says. If JaxPro says, Simon Says take a step, then all players must take a step. If they do a command without Simon Says in front of it, they'll be eliminated. The last 8 standing will move on to the next game. Genuinely, I'm not feeling good here. The first thought that came to my mind was, what if JaxPro say kill each other, after which the contestants unwantedly start bloodshed, and the remaining 8 are moved to the next level? Let's see what's coming next. The game starts with easy commands like touching your nose and standing on one leg, but things get worse when a contestant who followed an order without Simon Says in front of it gets smashed with a hammer by our fox-costumed Eliminator. Seeing a player crushed to death, another tries to leave but loses her life to a sniper shot. When a woman tries to stand up against brutality, she's immediately murdered before she can complete a sentence. It turns out that anyone attempting to leave will be eliminated, after which the Eliminator will escort the losers to their death. Clearly, I'm not a big fan of the graphics here because the bullet shot's not even close to being realistic. What's up with the budget? After 6 out of 14 players are killed one after another, the remaining players are declared qualified for their chance to win JaxPro's accounts and 115 million followers. I don't understand if JaxPro's a cold-blooded psychopath who brutally kills everyone, or an active guy who doesn't lose his energy and that sprightly pitch of voice even after murdering someone. Later, the contestants are ordered to approach the camera and give their introduction. Anyone who disobeys will be eliminated, and you now know what elimination means in this game. There are 5 female players, including Maxine, Carrie Miller, a singer-songwriter, chef Ruth Martin, kids TV host Mrs. Sunshine, and fitness guru Jess Hardbody, who's dedicated to helping people achieve their dream body through hard work, determination, and focus. We'll check how focused you are, Jess. Next, we have our boys, or you can say men. Walt Brentwood, an entrepreneur, a video game streamer AJ, and finally the motivational speaker Squish. Once JaxPro gets the footage of Simon Says, he tells his girlfriend Luna about it. As the couple talk, we learn that JaxPro aims to run away to an island with Luna once the game is finished. They plan to get fat and bald, and I cannot comprehend their obsession. Who wants to become bald and fat on purpose? Now, this makes me think that Luna is a psychopath too, who might have encouraged Pro to arrange this crazy game. The 8 players are escorted to the barracks, where they're given a blue uniform, which is basically a simple sweatpants and shirt. Carrie is still in shock because everything is surreal, but they have no way out of this terrible game. When Carrie, Maxine, and Sunshine comfort each other, Ruth rudely instructs them not to act like babies. Ruth thinks the deadly game is acceptable because no one can give you millions of followers and all social media accounts for nothing. According to Ruth, if famous people can drink the blood of babies to stay young all the time, then they can kill a young person too. What do you think about this myth? When I researched it, I discovered a report stating that drinking young people's blood provides health and longevity benefits. It was said that drinking young people's blood increases lifespan and fends against aging-related diseases. Moreover, the blood factors taken from younger animals were found to improve the later life health of older creatures. However, it was later determined that the actual experiment was about something else, and people continued to muddy the waters until the theory became entirely fictional. So, there is no such thing as celebrities drinking babies' blood. As the time passes in this death-dealing fame, the players make friends, fall in love, enemies are born, and get together to cheat their way to victory. Besides JaxPro, our first antagonist among the players is Squish, who will do whatever it takes to win 115 million followers. Walt works as a deceitful sidekick who thinks that everybody, except Squish and him, is ruled by their emotions, which can only lead them to death. Although Squish doesn't need an ally, Walt persuades him to play side by side when the time comes. Walt thinks of himself and Squish as smart, unlike others who, according to him, are a bunch of stinkers. We'll see about that, Mr. Walt. If I were in this critical situation, I might have died of a heart attack by now. Imagine being played by a psychopath who's lured you into a deadly game for what? A useless and dangerous obsession, or I say, for millions of views? The players are introduced to game number 2, HOPSCOTCH. First, they'll draw a number representing the order they'll go. Each player must hop across to win, but if the board turns red, they can't move. Otherwise, they'll be eliminated, and the game will end after the first elimination. As a preschool teacher and kids TV host, Miss Sunshine thinks that hopscotch is her specialty and she can survive this game. While the contestants are going for their turn, Walt exchanges his big number with Carrie's so she can go to the last spot. He might be doing this to win over Carrie, just to deceive her when the time comes. After AJ, when Sunshine starts hopping, Squish plays a weird whistling trick to distract her, causing Sunshine to put her foot on the red board. Sunshine is eliminated and smashed to death with a metal rod. While Squish and Ruth celebrate Sunshine's death, Carrie stands up for Sunshine and begs the Eliminator not to torture her body. If I were you, Maxine, I'd do the same, but here you are among psychopaths who can do anything to you, from cutting fingers to chopping your head off. Your one emotional action for your ally might have brought you more than a punch. Maybe our Foxy was in a good mood to let you go alive. After the game, Walt informs Maxine how he switched numbers with her, only to get Squish to think he was on his side. According to Walt, things are the opposite. He wants to be on whoever's side helps him to take Squish down. I'm smelling a lie here. Girls, you have to see the reality behind his claims. While Walt is trying to win over Maxine and Carrie, we see Ruth trying to lure AJ into becoming her ally in the game. But it seems like AJ isn't interested at all. What a straight no, AJ. After a failed try with AJ, Ruth tries her luck with Squish, who started his YouTube channel as a motivational speaker right after he got out of prison. At first, Squish avoids a conversation with Ruth, but when he gets overly bothered, he punches Ruth in the face, knocking her to the ground. After being brutally beaten, Ruth is now being treated by AJ, who was in med school before he was a gamer. During a conversation with Maxine and Carrie, AJ devises a plan to look for a way out of this psychotic place tonight in Game 3. On the other hand, we see Luna texting the families of the influencers, so there's no chance of a missing person report. Unlike my previous assumptions, Luna doesn't seem to enjoy the game. Whenever JaxPro is around her, she behaves like she's interested in the games, and whenever he leaves, She turns into a whole new person who doesn't give a crap about the whole thing. Game 3 starts when the contestants are taken to the ground blindfolded to play the obstacle course. When the players take off their blindfolds, they get a chance to make their way out of the game. The rules are pretty simple for the obstacle course. The players have to make it to the end in under 60 seconds, after which they'll be free to go. Unlike evil Ruth, Walt, and Squish, Jess wants to give it a try. The game starts and Jess races through the track, unaware of what she'll face. In the middle of the way, everybody learns that the Eliminator is waiting for Jess with a hammer. After successfully dodging the fox, Jess manages to escape, but she goes over the time limit, resulting in her instant demise. Carrie desperately wants to get out of there, but decides not to take the risk. Before the remaining 6 contestants are escorted back to the barracks, we see a female guard hiding a powder from her colleague. The girl is recalled by the other guard how disloyalty will be punished by death, but she ignores him and leaves. Things get confusing when we see Luna lying to JaxPro about her mother's call. Later, when Luna heads outside, it's revealed that the lady guard is working for her. What is she up to? Maybe she wants to get rid of her psychopath boyfriend, or she's caught a bigger fish. I don't know what's the secret, but we'll soon find it out. In the barrack, while everybody is asleep, AJ gets up and advises Carrie to help him find a way out. AJ has been observing the Eliminator for 2 hours and hasn't suspected a single movement, so he thinks the fox might have fallen asleep. When AJ tries to take the hammer, the Eliminator grabs his arm and compels him to sleep. The following day, the 4th round of the OctoGames starts with the musical chair. When the music begins, the 6 players will walk in a circle around 5 chairs. As soon as the music stops, they must sit in the chairs and whoever doesn't is out. The first person out will be eliminated. After that, they'll play to determine a winner. Unlike other rounds, this game does have a prize in which the winner will have $1 million deposited into their bank account. The game starts with AJ, Carrie, Walt, and Maxine eliminating in the first 4 rounds, after which they're escorted one by the Eliminator. Instead of getting killed, the contestants learn that JaxPro has changed the game's rules. Eliminating the first person was a little too boring for him, so he decided why not make winning the prize more intense. To make the game a little more interesting, JaxPro has decided to conduct a musical chair round between the last 2 winners, Ruth and Squish. One of them will get the prize, and the one who loses the game will die. The game continues, and in the end, Squish knocks Ruth to the ground and beats her until she goes unconscious. The other contestants, who have been watching the scene from the other room, decide to unite against Squish and his brutal self. On the other hand, Ruth opens her eyes in JaxPro's house, where she's offered to be a guard. In exchange for $2 million, JaxPro wants Ruth's help with the rest of the games. Once the whole thing is finished, Ruth will be free to go. Hearing this mind-blowing proposition, Ruth decides to take the opportunity and earn $2 million in 2 days. After the game, Walt tells Squish how he's duped other contestants into thinking he's with them. Carrie, Maxine, and AJ can see Walt's planning, but they keep pretending they know nothing. Why our old bald guy is shaking hands with Squish in front of others even though he's made himself clear about his hatred towards Squish? And if he so desperately wants to talk to Squish, he can create a fight scene like in those action movies and slightly whisper his plan to Squish. Why do you have to make yourself prominent in front of your newly made friends, who you call a bunch of ditzy kids? They're not blind, man. They can see you talking, laughing, and planning with Squish. This is one of many funny scenes in the film. What's more amusing is Walt bribing the Eliminator. What in the world have you taken, man? A person who's the wealthiest YouTuber has hired for millions of dollars will assist you through the game in exchange for a few $100s? Use your head, Walt. Now it's time for Game 5, Hide and Seek. The players will have 60 seconds to hide anywhere in the house. After that, the Eliminator will try to find them. The first person he finds is out and will be tortured to death. The game begins and everybody hides, but the enemies start to show their true colors when they kick Maxine out of the cupboard. Carrie, who's about to escape, hears Maxine scream and rushes into the room to save her. Before she can do anything, the Eliminator chokes Maxine to death. Carrie cannot believe how far one can go just to get some followers. Squish knows that Ruth is behind the mask, while Ruth claims that she will make sure her biggest opponent dies soon. On the other hand, we see JaxPro telling his girlfriend how they'll fly out to an island soon after the video's uploaded. Later, Ruth is called by JaxPro, who wants her to kill a guard caught while carrying cyanide, most likely to kill him. In the 6th game, Tetherball, the players must hit the ball all the way around the pole in order to win. They'll be playing 3 rounds of one-on-one Tetherball. First, AJ will play against Walt, while Carrie will try to defeat Squish. The losers will then play each other in the final round to determine who's eliminated. In the first round, AJ defeats Walt with a bleeding hand, while in the second round, Carrie loses against Squish. Carrie knew she would lose, so she decided not to waste her energy but to save it for later. In the final round, Carrie plays against Walt and manages to win the tiring battle. While Walt is being tortured, he grabs Eliminator's mask, exposing him in front of everyone. The fox turns out to be a teenage boy who has an obsession with killing people. Infuriated, Eliminator strikes Walt with a hammer and beats him until he dies. On the other hand, when Luna tries to drug JaxPro, she fails in her plan and consequently gets murdered. JaxPro and Ruth write a suicide letter which shows that Luna is the mastermind behind the OctoGames. With 3 contestants in the game, JaxPro introduces HANGMAN, in which a mystery phrase will be guessed by the players one by one. For each letter they get wrong, they'll receive a bigger and bigger electric shock, and if they successfully guess the phrase, they'll be released from the chair. With 2 seconds for each guess, the players are ready to play the game. After getting various shocks, Squish ultimately guesses the phrase while AJ loses his life in an effort to save Carrie. Before the final game, JaxPro calls the Eliminator and kills him for exposing himself in the game. Finally, the 8th game, Capture the Flag, begins, in which the winner has to hold a flag for 3 seconds without killing or beating the opponent. After the game, one contestant will win everything while the other will lose their life. Let's see who will take 115 million followers home. The game starts and Squish manages to hold the flag, unaware of the fact that he has the wrong one. Before Squish can know, Carrie successfully grasps the flag and wins the game. Squish loses his life to his deceitful and evil actions, while Carrie gets the username and password of JaxPro's YouTube channel. 3 months have passed and Carrie has become a YouTube sensation with millions of views on a single track. In the film's last scene, we learn that JaxPro has created yet another YouTube channel and now aims to explore and taste candies around the world with his new girlfriend, Ruth. First of all, I didn't expect this ending. It was never explained why Luna tried to kill her boyfriend. If she didn't like his games, why didn't she go to the police? What was she up to? Secondly, we're not waiting for a second part of the movie to have a nice ending. Many things could have been done to make the film more interesting. JaxPro could have died, or at least one of the contestants could have tried to run away. Although Carrie did make an attempt, she never ran too far. Moreover, why did Carrie never face an investigation? Although JaxPro was masked, Carrie's face was visible in the footage. JaxPro's voice and his YouTube credentials could have been used to identify the mastermind behind the deadly game. If the film was frictionless, the directors should have focused on the facts, which would make it more engaging. If we talk about fashion sense, the costume designer could have changed the colors of the guard's costume to make it different from the Squid Game. It seems like the director did his best not to add a unique touch to this film. The moral of the story was simple. If you can achieve something by doing hard work and being persistent, you should never go for shortcuts, except a few that will ultimately engulf you with their hunger. So, this was all from the OctoGames. Hope you enjoy the movie. Catch you guys again next week. Peace out, and thanks for watching.